opinions, and perspectives shared by our guests and debaters on Paradigm Shift TV, 314, and the Versus series are their own. They do not necessarily represent the views of the platform. We support open dialogue and critical thought, but encourage viewers to think for themselves.
It's your brother DMG the Poet. Y'all know it.
The following music is performed by the Musical Messiah, a.k.a. the most dangerous Bible believer. Please be advised by how hard it hits.
Wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truest, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truest, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You might know that neo-love, but neo-love or when he above. Switching lanes in the turning lane. Old school, no roof above. Carpool, no room for her. Bitch, you cartoons, we gets it up. We check the sources, you listen to voices. You are not living like us. You say you creeping in houses and all of the monsters is living in fearing of us. Pussy, we are not monsters and we are not pouncing and we are not giving a fuck. We up the score on you niggas. We done outgrowed out you niggas, nigga. Yeah, with DM the G, Craig and the Craig and nobody. They saying Judah the Nash, but he be trash. Bring me the bag. Why the fuck would you brag with? No, you ain't living that bad. You are not rad. I take your choices and put them inside of a bag. Smoke them like hash, then dump out the ash and now the pussy on the crash. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truest, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truest, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. Something like the truest, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on.
Where we going with it? Now where we going with it? Where we going with it? Where we going with it? Going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I seen kingdoms come and I seen kingdoms fall. You can check it for yourself, you can read it on the wall. Like graffiti on the wall, metal nets is what it's called. I taught y'all in the past, now I'm back to teach you all how to elevate and repent from filthy ways. I know it's hard, but it feels good to fast for 30 days. I got y'all searching for the land that's across the burning sands, where the men turn into gods and the gods turn into men. The jewel of the Nile is in the motherland. Each one, teach one. So go tell your brother, man, you're feeling down, and then you got to snap back like a rubber band. Lord, going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. Hey. All the words I chant when I come forth by day. From the night, these sacred chapters I recite. Do my voodoo every day till I feel some things are right. Speaking in words of power, speakers get blown. Ancient tradition, deep in your bones. Ancient wisdom, speaking in poems. Melodies take you deep in the zone. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time. How many years? About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. Too many youth wanna ride and die. I try to tell them about the I and I. In my presence, I got y'all feeling divine essence. I come through dropping jewels that's full of timeless lessons. Not Egyptian, I'm Kemetic, spitting poetic relics from the highest mind. Look to the skies to find where I am headed. I come when I be spitting, y'all be playing, hating me. I don't know, probably cause I'm serious like A and B. And C, we alike sometimes more than we would like. I got the gift of gab, I was born to speak on mics. Got raw in me glowing, now I shine like skies in Cali. I represent the hood, and that hood is the Nile Valley. They call it hobby. The illest of the niggas, nah, that's not me. I'm that golly representative. Spit the hottest sentences with the eye for rule. I see the evil that lurks in you. I live by 10 virtues that stops me from hurting you. I use oracles, so nowadays I plan better. Now I walk in the presence of God's angels and ancestors. Walking my path, speaking in code, talking in math. I got an inner divinity, mental serenity. I walk in my eye, even on my path alone. And in these zone, man, I got heart like Indiana Jones. I'm not a raider.
Going back to Kemet. Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. It's your brother, DMG the Poet, aka Brother Pianki. We got a powerful show with a powerful brother. But before we get into our spiel, y'all know I gotta do my spiel. With that being said, allow me to say hotep to my Kemetic brothers and sisters. Let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters. Let me say assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters in the NOI. Islam to my Moorish brothers and sisters. Peace to my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. Let me say what's up to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Owaspy brothers and sisters. Mad love to my Naga brothers and sisters. While we at it, I want to say what's up to all my atheist brothers and sisters. All my Abo brothers and sisters, a big salute. Last and certainly not least, I want to say Jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America and beyond. Y'all know why I say that greeting is for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're Black, I'm with you. And I hope that you are with me. That being said, we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable, and we can have unity without uniformity. I know that's the hardest part, but we're going to get there. That being said, family, brother, please introduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
What's up, everybody? My name is Brother Ku. I am a priest of Anku, that is out of Kemet, ancient Egypt, and I am a brother of the Brotherhood of Ra. And I'm here to share this light with y'all today.
All right. And y'all see the title, Going Back to Kemet. It's been a while since I had a genuine Kemetic brother on the show. So I'm looking forward to this. Y'all know how I feel about the ancient Kemetic tradition. So we're gonna jump right in, bro. And this wasn't originally one of my questions, but I think it's what everybody probably gonna be having on their mind anyway. Uh, what where did you sort of get your training or your teachings in terms of the Kemetic tradition, and were you initiated by a grandmaster teacher? If so, who and how did that process go for you?
So I was not initiated, so let's get that, understood to start off. Now, initiation is a great thing, and I was looking into it for a long time, and I'm still looking into it. Just didn't have a good fit for me. My teachings, the people who taught me, I definitely first and foremost I got to start with SAR Set Society and Raul Nefer Man, the Metal Netter series. Um, Man, the understanding that the gods live within you, and it's for you to embody them. What we call the netures. That was
Mhm.
game changing for me. Also, um, the Earth Center. The Earth Center was huge in my understanding. So the Earth Center, they out of Burkina Faso in Africa, but they got multiple chapters here in America, and they really tied into the aspect of time, right? Because see, black people we don't understand what time it is, but see, we invented time. When you look back at the sundial, we invented time, the tracking of it. You understand me? And so they really added that element to it. And then of course I got to give shout outs to you know, the Grandmaster Mfudishi, all of the great ones that have walked this walk already. I just gotta shout them out, and those is my major influences. And last but not least, to be honest, also, and we're gonna get into this more than likely, a lot of my training comes from astrology, man. If you really look into the oldest religious text that's out of Kemet, that's in the world, but they come from Kemet. Talking about the pyramid text and the Per Dem Rule is called the Book of Coming Forth by Day. Man, it's a star religion, man. The pharaohs and the people, they said one day that they would live amongst the stars, man. So when you see Mufasa going up in the clouds and all of that and Lion King, that's where that started, man. And astrology
Oh, okay.
gives you some understanding of how that works. So yeah.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this. So I'd say the last 3 years, maybe, possibly four, it's been a push in the community where it's been what I would call a rejection of the Kemetic tradition, um, in terms of people saying basically, why do we, as descendants of West Africa, why are we even looking into this this tradition? Why are we looking at this as a history, etc.? Um, the narrative basically being that the ancient Kemetic people are not our people. Critics in our community often argue that we, as descendants of West Africa, have no legitimate spiritual or cultural connection to ancient Kemet. As a priest of Ra, how do you reconcile these claims with your spiritual calling and broader African American or Black community?
That's a great question, DMG. And the first thing that I would say is the people who are saying that, are you guys all, practitioners of Ifa? Are you Yorubas? Are you practicing a West African religion? Some of you are, but most likely you're not, because that is a small portion of us that are practicing West African religions. So we got to start there. I feel like that question is somewhat of a diversion. because again, most people is not practicing a religion from the last place on the motherland that we lived in, West Africa, right? And so that's my first response to that. My second response to that is this: there is a such thing as spiritual geography, right? And there is religions and spiritualities that work better for specific people, all right? And so, with that being said, I go back to Kemet because that was the first religion and, quite frankly, the last true religion that did empower Black people. See, after Kemet, we had, the Greeks, became, top dogs in the world, or maybe you could even say the Assyrians first, then the Greeks, then the Romans, and so on and so forth. And with the rise of the Abrahamic traditions, they've influenced everything that has came after that. Does that mean that there is no power in any traditions that we had after that? That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is the last pure religion before the influence of people who came outside of us. Because quite frankly, and I mean, I ain't gonna be the first to say this, but the Abrahamic people did not come from Africa. They didn't come from Africa. They're not Black people. And does that mean that they don't have any truth or any knowledge or anything to share with us? That's not the point of what I'm saying. The point of what I'm saying is they are not from us. And so we have to look back and say, why does everybody in the world who is doing anything exceptional, why do they practice spirituality and religions that come from their people, right? You look at the Europeans again, you got Christianity coming out of Rome and 100, 200 AD, 300 AD, right? And you see what they have did with their legacy. When you look at the Chinese, they own America's boots right now. They practice Taoism and Buddhism. These is religions that came from their place in the world. The Indian Americans and Indians in general, which if you know anything about Indian Americans, they have the highest household income of any group in America. They practice their own indigenous religion, Hinduism. When you look at anybody in the world who is doing anything, when you look at what I'm saying, some of the Arabs over there, is it the UAE or wherever it is Dubai is over there, all of that oil money. They practice a religion that came from Saudi Arabia, right? Islam, right? So if you asking why is Kemet and the Kemetic tradition and the teachings that were passed down relevant today, is because Black people is still blacking and we still need a religion for Black people by Black people.
You know what? The way you put that, man, I gotta drop a bomb. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, with that being said, I'm gonna move to my second question because I'm sure we're gonna get some people up here who disagree and want to challenge that. So, there's a narrative that the people of ancient Kemet weren't Black, or in some of these narratives that people have, not even African. How do you respond to this, and what do you say to those in our community who are beginning to stand on this information?
What evidence do you have that they weren't Black? What evidence do you have that they weren't African? When you look on their walls, they show look Black. I mean, I don't know what else you need to say. I don't know what else you need to see. Like the people self-reported themselves as Black. You get what I'm saying? They having ancient censuses, right? And they checking the box Black, right? They name of their country was Kemet, the Black land. Understand me? And to go even further symbolically, how we know that they was Black is because before this era, right, of white supremacy and domination by people who are not as melanated as us, right? Black was not a negative concept at all. Like was Black was beautiful, Black was honorable, and most importantly, the original meaning of Black was rich. To this day, if you got a company and y'all haven't reached y'all financial goals for the year, they say that you in the red. But once you hit your goals and once you really run it up, they say that you in the black. And back all the way going back to Kemet, thousands of years ago, we said that we were the rich people. We were the people who were rich financially with all of this materialism for sure. The breadbasket of the world, the place where everybody's ancestors came to eat when their ancestors was messing up the bed. All right. They came to Kemet, to the rich people, the people who was rich again, monetarily, financially, materialistically, but first and foremost, rich spiritually, right? Again, the place where religion began, okay? The place where people first said, there's something beyond just, walking around, you know, you go talk to this person over here, you go mess around over here, you go, just the humdrum of life, right? And they said there is something spiritual to this thing. There is a life after this. And they'll later on they'll say that we was obsessed with death. No, we were just obsessed with, or better yet, we were inspired to not see life just as this short term and transient existence, but the eternal aspect of it. Again, we invented time, so we knew what time it was. So again, to wrap all of this up, how do you justify that they weren't black when they were the richest people on earth? And rich mean black.
Understood, understood. As a priest of Ra, how do you balance ancient Kemetic principles with the realities and struggles of Black people in today's world?
The saying goes, right? Something like if you ask a fish to climb a tree like a monkey, he will always think that he's stupid. Something like that. Don't kill me, y'all. I know the saying, I know the sentiment, but it's something like that. My answer to your question is this, DMG. For so long, again, we have been practicing the traditions of other people. And you will never be as great as somebody following their game plan for their life and their community as they are. You will never win that race. You will always be a stupid fish. You're always going to be a dumb fish. And so, as a priest of Ra, a priest of Anku, which means eternal, undying life and satisfaction and light, I would say for Black people today, if you want to maximize your light, if you want to be exceptional again as a people, yes, we have individuals who come along and they, get it popping, they got motion, but as a people, I started the I went back to the last question and I said that Indian Americans, people who follow their own indigenous tradition, they're at the top when it comes to even materialism, right? So not only in their spirituality, but also materially, also what you can see manifested, right? And they also have the highest marriage rates and all of that great stuff as well. Like these people, they practice their own traditions, their own spirituality, their own religion. And again, the number one sign that you don't have a religion that works for you is that it doesn't lead to you manifesting God on earth. Understand that the Bible says, "Let your will be done on earth as it is in on earth as it is in heaven." And outside of the Bible, it goes, "May it be as above, so below." And so what that is saying is, and the word religion itself. Let me slow down. The word religion itself is very meaning and symbolically linked to the idea of yoga. Yoga and religion both mean to yoke, to bind, to tie back. Understand what I'm saying here? It is to have heaven on earth. You understand me? When you have religion that tells you pie in the sky fantasies of oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right now, just, take it on the chin, but one day, you're gonna have it all. And it's gonna be, streets of gold and all of this great, fantastical stuff. All right, cool, but where's the evidence of the efficacy of your religion here? Because again, the word religion means to yoke, to tie the divine with the material, with the physical plane. And so you are supposed to bring heaven to earth. And then upon ascension, upon passing from this life, upon death, you're supposed to tie those who are on earth back to heaven. Understand that. And so, as a black person today, if your religion doesn't bring heaven to earth for you as a group, not just individuals, but as a collective of people, if it doesn't have your average person living a life that they are ecstatic to live, that they are excited and that they are satisfied to live, if you can't see the average person in your community shining their light, that religion might not be for you.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. All right. So look, next question. So I noticed when you email me, you call yourself a spiritual detective. Can you explain what that means in the context of Kemetic spirituality and how it manifests in your day-to-day practice?
I'm an anime guy. Y'all probably see Charizard, he back there. So the spirit detective, it came from this guy. His name is Yusuke Urameshi on this show called Yu Yu Hakusho. Y'all should look it up. It's old. It's older than me. It's from the 90s. All right. So what it means when I apply it, when I sent you that email, DMG, is this. All right. A detective is somebody who investigates, they research, they first of all identify that something has went wrong. A crime has happened, an offense has occurred, and they put the pieces together through rigorous research, investigation, talking to the people, hearing what this person's story is versus what that person's story is, and then using their intuition to tie all of the pieces together. They come to a conclusion and they solve the issue that they originally started on their quest for. They solve the crime, they solve the issue at hand. And so spiritually, black people, we have crimes have been committed against us. People have sought to impose upon us that which will block our light, that which will keep us from, again, ultimately ascending to the starry realm, to the heavenly dimensions. And you can see, again, it's evident from the place that we have settled in on this earthly existence. And so I'm a spirit detective because I use comparative mythology, meaning I don't just look at this book and be like, oh man, this is compelling. This is awesome. This is just beautiful. Because I did that already. I did that already, DMG. I've already did the fanaticism. Understand? Now what I'm on is, okay, I see what these people are saying, and it sounds cool, but they reference some other people. So let me be a just judge, right? Because a judge in a court of law, again, tying it back to the legal system, detective, judge, a just judge, a righteous judge does not just hear the testimony of one side. He doesn't just hear, oh, this is the defendant's case, case closed, court adjourned, guilty. You didn't do it. You're free. You're not guilty. He doesn't just hear the side of the defendant, the side of the plaintiff. He hears both sides. Comparative mythology. He sees, okay, this is they this is what they say happened, this is what they say happened. And then again, we put it together and then use your intuition to put in the fill in the gaps where this person and that person might have both left a few things out. That's why I'm a spirit detective, DMG.
Okay, okay, okay. And so with that said, let me ask you about a brother um, who has become one of the more prominent figures in the uh, Kemetic community and the conscious community in general. Our brother Jabari Osaze. What's your take on the brother, his work, and what he doing in these in the debate arenas and in the overall Kemetic community in terms of bringing awareness to it, etc.
Jabari Osaze, priest of the Shrine of Mayat. Got a lot of respect for him, and I definitely see that his heart is in the right place. And Kim we say that that is Ya'ab, and that is the most important piece. Again, Mayat, she weighed on a scale your heart against her feather to see if you are in alignment with the divine. Understand that. So the brother, he is on the right path, and he truly embodies the temple that he represents. I would say, and I see that he is he's doing his rounds in the schools and the museums and all of that stuff, and I love all of that. I haven't seen too much of his late work. I was definitely looking at some of his stuff in the beginning of my journey, a few years back. I believe that the brother, his heart is in the right place. He has the right intentions. I would love to have some conversations with him, just to compare notes, share ideas, get a better understanding of why he moves the way that he moves. He's actually a pretty decent debater, because sometimes people who debate, it's about the engagement with the audience, right? And he's definitely mastered the art of engaging with the audience. I think that the element that needs to be added to the equation is a high, un un not unfalsifiable. What is the word that I want to use? A intellect that exceeds all criticism and all doubts and all detractors and all people saying, nah, that's not right. Nah, that's not true. Well, what about this? Or what about that? I think when those situations come up, because I was back in the day when he was debating people like Zion Lex and stuff like that from, the Hebrew community and, apologists and all of that stuff from the Christian community. He was able to engage the crowd, but I don't know that he was ultimately able to solidify and establish his point of view as being incontrovertible. And so, yeah, powerful brother. I would love to have a conversation with him. Wherever you out there, keep doing your thing, Jabari.
Got you. And I, like I say, I'm gonna definitely try to facilitate that if I can. With that being said, many people see Kemeticism or the Kemetic tradition as a return to African roots, but also struggle to connect it to their modern identity. How do you help others bridge that gap between sacred history and their lived experience?
So, me personally, when I looked on those walls, when I seen gods that looked like me, it wasn't gods that, looked like Justin Bieber and all of that. That did something for me. That did something for me. And then when I looked into the religion and I saw, oh wow, when these people were preaching these ideas, black people were thriving. I want to thrive. So maybe I should look into what they're talking about a little bit closer. Don't run into it again with fanaticism. It says again, man, know thyself first. And so it's not about being so in awe of it, but seeing yourself reflected in it. And what I saw reflected in it that was inside of me was, again, they looked like me, not only physically, but they looked like me internally. They had the same aspirations of greatness. They wasn't settling for mediocrity, and they damn sure, if I can use that word on this platform, damn sure DMG wasn't settling for subservience. All right. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. We just had the Kentucky Derby. I hit on my horse yesterday, and that horse's name is Sovereignty. You should always bet on sovereignty. And so, what I saw in the Kemetic religion was sovereignty. As a person, as a community, as a people, that's what I saw.
Okay. Okay. So now there are many spiritual paths in the Black conscious community. What sets the Kemetic tradition apart in your view, and why do you believe Ra called you to serve as a priest in this time?
Will you repeat that one more time, DMG, just so I grasp the whole question?
Gotcha. All right. There are many spiritual paths in the Black conscious community and in the Black community overall. What sets the Kemetic tradition apart in your view? And why do you believe Ra called you to serve as a priest in this time?
You still see me? It just gave me a connection loss signal.
No, I still see you, still hear you.
All right, so the very first thing that sets Kemet, again, I specifically am a priest of Ankh-Ku. Ankh is eternal life, undying existence, and Ku is the Kemetic word for light. Also, light meant satisfaction. It meant fulfillment. So altogether, eternal fulfillment. That is what I am a priest of. And specifically, Ra is the symbol of that undying existence, with his stories of him dying once a day and then being reborn the next day. This is the cycle. This is the fundamental understanding of eternal existence. Is that you have periods of rest and you have periods of activity. So this is not the first universe that ever occurred. In the beginning of many people's spiritual traditions, they say, it was chaos, it was, darkness, it was the abyss, the void. Yeah, that was in the beginning of this universe, but there were times before that. I mean, eternity goes forever, not only in the future tense, but in the past tense as well. So this wasn't the beginning. This is our universe. This is our era. DMG, what sets Kemet apart is the fact that you ain't got producers all in the videos dancing. Nah, what sets Kemet apart, DMG, is that you don't have to sacrifice your mind in order to commune with God. And so many people's religions and spiritualities, whether it be the actual religion and spirituality itself, or it be the interpretation of the spirituality and religion, people turn their brain off to talk to God. But that doesn't make sense when God gave you your mind. He gave you your ability to believe, but he also gave you your ability to reason. So why must you sacrifice one for the other? Kemet, you ain't got to do that. And Kemet, many people will say that it is a spirit science, a spiritual science. And that's exactly what it is, DMG. That's exactly what it is. Paradigm Shift 314 and everybody watching. It is a spiritual science. Okay. We were the first people, Kemet, the first people, and still the only people, but that's debate worthy. We were the first people to actually give you the step by step approach to get to heaven. So it wasn't just like, oh, you just gotta believe, and if God know your heart, then you in there, you know what I'm saying, and all of that good stuff. No, we actually gave you play for play, line by line, step by step, how to walk this walk and not only live a righteous life, but then be able to retain your consciousness into the future and not die and have your consciousness be destroyed and have to come back to this planet and start all over. Understand that this life is a school. And if you don't pass your test, you can't graduate. You can't graduate. That's the long and the short of it, DMG. You can't graduate. And you know, it's beautiful the idea that other people can come along and pass that test for you. But when you go to school, it don't work like that. If you go to school and somebody else takes your test for you because they have the knowledge, because they walk the walk. And we find out that the people who run the school, the teachers, the administration, they find that out. It's yours. That is you. That is your consequences because it is for you to mature and for you to develop and for you to grow. And so if you take a deep dive into Kemet, and again, there's many approaches. Oh, another teacher that I have been looking into for years now is Muwada Ash. So had to plug him as well. He just came to my mind for some reason. I remember you was asking me who I was all influenced by. If
Okay.
you look into Kemet and you look into what the actual understanding of it is about the unity of what they call upper and lower Kemet. It is about the unity of not just you don't leave your mind at the door like so many people ask you to do and it just believe stuff. And then when you have a question, it's like you don't question God. I'm not questioning God, I'm questioning you. You're the one who's supposed to be the teacher, the instructor, the person who has the leadership. I'm asking you the questions. And they're just like, no, 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 no. I told you what it is. And you need to just accept that and understand this.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, now
This is the
this
last
is
thing I'll
my.
say to that, DMZ. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
take a
bro. Go
dramatic
ahead,
pause.
go.
My fault, DMZ.
You good?
Understand this. Is there some things that you will not come to understand in this life? That is 100% inevitability. Because you asked me again why Ra chose me to carry this tradition on. When you look at Ra, when you look at the sun, when you look at any star in the sky at night, if you don't live somewhere where all of the stars is blacked out because of all of the lights on in the city, the light of a star, of a sun, of a Ra can never illuminate all of the darkness. There will always be darkness outside of your light, outside of your sphere of understanding. Understand that. But it is your job to expand that light as much as you can in this lifetime. And so when people tell you, I mean, there's no answers to your questions. You just have to accept it. You just have to stop here. They're not leading you down the right path. They might not have the answers. Then that's if they don't have the answers, that's when they're supposed to direct you to look within and to again use your intuition to continue to study and find those answers that they can't even give you. When you come to Kemet, you don't have to stop learning, stop growing in order to communicate and to reach into fellowship with God.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Big Hemi, King Hercules, my brother Mel in the building. We got notes from the underground. We got Barbara Cunningham, Mama B in the building, Paul Gilmore, and whoever else in the chat. Salute, salute, salute. That being said, Big Hemi, and the brother can correct me if I'm wrong. So the duat is a concept of the Kemetic underworld. The field of reeds is the concept of the Kemetic heaven, where basically you get a perfected body. Everything you had in life is returned to you in a more opulent state. And when you think about that concept of a perfected life and you think about what Paul said in the Bible, it's a very similar concept. So, like I said, if the brother want to correct me on that, feel free. But the duat is more like an underground. You could almost if you want to do a compare and contrast, you could almost compare it to like purgatory, where, you know, that's the first place they journey to when they would die. And they kind of go through that process. But the ultimate goal was to get to the field of reeds. And again, bro, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But and this is my
DMG.
Yeah, because I think people get the duat confused with the equivalent to heaven. And so when he said, I thought Kemet taught duat, I think that's what he meant, but he may not have even meant that. So hopefully he'll be one of the people that come in when we open up the chat. Shout out to Big Hemi. Shout out to Astro Projections in the building. The Bible Breaker A1. And this is my last question before we. What's that? Oh yeah, for sure. DMG. For sure.
You have to go down to go up. As just whether you want to consider the underworld hell, you know what I'm saying, Sheol, all right. The ancient Mesopotamians called it Ker, all right. The Duat, Amenta, wherever you conceptualize it. If you want to go up there, you got to go down there first, because that's the bus station, that's the portal, that's the train station, all right. And the last thing I'm gonna leave you on before you get into your next question, DMG, is this: Christianity didn't invent the lake of fire. The Kemet did. The Chem did. And the lake of fire was not reserved for only the unrighteous. Everybody took a dip. Everybody took a dip. Everybody had to be purified. And if you had a little bit more impurities than you should have, yeah, it might burn a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It's like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? If you got some wounds open, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna burn. You know what I'm saying? But everybody had to take that dip. So
shout out to Quinn in the building, our newest entry into the Versus series. And so, with that being said, this is my last question before we get into the Versus series. So, one of the things you said in the email you sent me was you called yourself a champion of truth, and I thought that was dope. But that's a powerful claim. How do you define truth, and what battles have you faced defending it in today's society, especially within our own community?
This is probably going to be my shortest answer. Truth is proof. If you don't have proof of it, you have a belief. You have something maybe that is very compelling, and you just know, you use the word because you just feel it very, very, very strong. But until you have proof, you don't have truth. And so, because again, in Kemet, the goddess of truth was Mayat, and her scales represented not only righteousness versus unrighteousness, but also, is the math mathing? So at the end of the day, so many people use spirituality as a calculator, DMG. They want somebody else to do the math for them, but ultimately you must do your math yourself. And so truth is proof. And as a champion of truth, I am here to again unite having your spirituality and your belief and your faith united with the practicality of logic and the math actually math. That's why I'm a champion of truth, DMG. And a lot of people give me pushback because logic is something that is supposed to stay in a box, right? Like, you use logic when it comes to your taxes, but when it comes to God, you know what I'm saying, it's just beyond your understanding. And it's just like, it's beyond your understanding, because you have been somewhere along the line, you accepted that idea, you accepted that belief that God is illogical, ultimate. Yes, again, there are things that you won't understand in this lifetime, but it doesn't mean that it can't be understood. And so, yeah, man, there's always going to be pushback from people who want to turn their brain off, man. But I'm a champion of the truth. So If you see me on her, you're gonna have to use your brain.
Mm, mm. So with that being said, that brings us to uh, that brings us to the Versus series, and let me say this. Real matter of fact, I ain't gonna even say nothing. I'm gonna play this real quick.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
Back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did.
For those who forgot, the Versus series is live in 2025. Y'all know what it is. If you want your debates displayed in a professional manner, if you want to be compensated for your work, if you don't want your moderator and your host all in your debate, making it about them, come to Paradigm Shift and compete in the Versus series. That being said, my brother, you said you ready to come and get that work. And
All
we got a
welcome.
He say all smoke welcome. So now I know I see some of the Versus series heavy hitters in the chat. Shout out to Big Hemi, newest channel member. And we are going to be switching up some of those rewards for channel members. We're going to be giving away some t-shirts. I'm going to be giving away copies of my poetry book. Got a new book on the horizon called Forever Dark. It is a fictional narrative about a brother who was a slave in the antebellum South and becomes a vampire. And no, I didn't get it from Sinners. I wrote this thing I first wrote it when I was like 12 years old. My son inspired me to go ahead and finish it. It is completely different from what we see in Sinners. It's more on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer angel tip, except it's a brother with locks. So, but I'm gonna be showing the cover to that here in a little bit, but it's gonna be available on Amazon probably around July. Got some editing to do, but it'll be dropping soon. That being said, I see Big Hemi in the building. I see Quinn in the building. I seen the Bible Breaker in here. So we got Mel. I don't know if Mel want to throw his hand in the ring in the Versus series, but we got notes from the underground. We got a few of them in there, man. I'm gonna drop this link. I gotta ask you, brother, what made you curious about coming and competing in the Versus series?
DMG, man, I just wanna put the truth on stage. I just want people to, have the opportunity to engage with the truth and for the truth to engage with them, And again, I'm a champion of truth. I'm a champion of truth. And so, a champion overcomes. He overcomes lies. He overcomes ignorance. He overcomes the things that shackle you from the truth, like fear and deception. And I'm here to illuminate all of that. I'm here to shine a light and destroy all falsehoods. That's what I'm here to do now.
Okay. No doubt. Hey, link is in the chat. Hit the link if you want to ask the brother some questions. Remember, he is not here to debate tonight. So ask the brother one question. He will respond, and then you can see your way out. But if you are here to challenge the brother, we can set up a face-off, determine the topic, and get that brother in the ring for his first versus series matchup. So if you're looking to challenge him, come on in and state your claim. Link is in the chat.
And as far as those challenges go, y'all can open up the floodgates, all right? Religion, spirituality, black politics, because while I am versed in world politics as a whole, black politics is where my heart is at, that which affects us specifically, or just the black community in general. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on, you know, gender wars and culture wars and all kind of stuff going on, man. I'm here for all the smoke, man. All of it.
Okay. Shout out to the queen, Random Info, and the head barbarian. See Bar Reloaded in the building. Shout out to those queens. And hey, our brother say he is here for all the smoke, bringing back the Kemetic tradition. We got a question up on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, brother.
Yeah, I see it. What are you specifically talking about?
She say, "Oh, really? What's your stance on that? Be more specific if you don't mind, sis." I think maybe she was talking about. She say on those gender wars.
This is the fulfillment of prophecy. We got somebody in here?
Yeah, you can finish answering the sister question, but we got a biblical barbarian in the building, brother. So I think he might want the smoke. But yeah, you can go ahead and answer the sister question, and then we'll get to the biblical barbarian.
It's the fulfillment of prophecy. And if I go any further into it, it's gonna open up a whole can of worms, and we got a whole lot of stuff going on. But just know that this gender war stuff, the breakdown of the families, which is then furthermore the breakdown of the community, is about, you know, a couple thousand years in the working, at least 2,000 years in the planning. So yeah.
Okay, and look, before we get to my brother, the biblical barbarian, I gotta do my DMG Don King type of thing. Let me share my screen real quick because I gotta show this. We got a face-off tomorrow. We got the undisputed, undefeated world champion, Pandemus, the Pan-African atheist, taking on the chief ambassador, LP the Great. They will be having a face-off to determine what the topic will be. That will be tomorrow, May 4th. We're looking to have this thing on Saturday, May 24th. So tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Pandemus, the undisputed, undefeated, reigning, defending versus series champion in a face-off with LP, the Great, the chief ambassador. That is tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time. So y'all come back and tune in for that. We got another. Let me bring that back so I can get my screen back straight. Hold on. All right. And we got another heavy hitter in the building. The Slim Reaper has come up to the stage. So we got two Bible brothers up here to challenge our brother. I had a feeling the biblical barbarian was going to hit the stage. I didn't think the Slim Reaper was still watching. Biblical barbarian, you was up here first. What's your question for the brother? Remember, you get one question, see your way out. But since we only got two people up here, we can just go back and forth and y'all can ask one question apiece and just go back and forth until we get more people up here if the brother don't mind. So, my brother Hemi, the biblical barbarian, what's your question for the brother?
My question, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Yeah, my question real simple. I appreciate what you're doing too, bro. You seeking truth and trying to push truth. But you made a statement that kind of was untrue, and so I just had a question. You said that Kemet was the first and only practice that gives you steps to reach heaven. Why would you make that statement when in Christianity, there's clearly steps to get to heaven, and in Kemet, I mentioned how you guys have to go to the underworld, and most people don't even make it out of the underworld into well, I don't even know if y'all even call it heaven. This the first you're one of the first people I heard call it heaven. So why would you make that statement?
Yeah, we call it heaven, man. You go look into the pyramid text. The word is pet. That's the Kim word for heaven is pet. All right. Or returning to Mama Newt. All right. If you know anything, the earth was Father Jib and the heavens was Mother Newt. So, But as far as why I made that statement, Hemi, because it's true. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Nah, it's true, Hemi. It's definitely true. Like Christianity, again, the premise of it is flawed, man. They telling you that somebody else can pass your test for you. And listen, in my heart of hearts, I want to tell you that I want that to be the ultimate truth. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to do all of this striving and whoop, whoop, whoop. I know people say this when it comes to atheists, Hemi. They say, I'd rather die and believe in the God and find out that there is no God than to die and find out that there is a God and not believe in the God. Well, I take it a step further. I'd rather die and have walked the walk as well as talk the talk, and it not be necessary. All I had to do was just believe. All I had to do is just believe. And if I believe on this person, hey, he passed the test, so it's recorded, so it's stated, so it's written. He passed the test, and so him passing the test means that I get to graduate. All right. I'd rather die and find out that I didn't have to do all of the work that I'm doing, all of the spiritual development that I'm going through, actually manifesting my spirit here in this lifetime. You get what I'm saying? Like, not just wait until I'm on a cross next to somebody, him being like, you can come with me. You can come with me up there. You know what I'm saying? I would rather find out that I did all of this in vain and I didn't even have to do it. All I had to do was believe. Then to get up there and have simply believed, but I actually had to walk the walk as well as talk the talk.
Well, you said I got one question, but can I just respond to something you said? It's not a question. The Bible says faith without works is dead, bro. So we also have to walk the walk, right? We can't just, it's not just simply about faith. You understand what I'm saying? That's a misunderstanding that some people may teach, but we have to do the work as well. You can go ahead, Slim Reaper.
Hemi, I totally disagree with that. I understand that is written. Hey man, we can get in the ring about it. Because I just do not agree with the underlying fundamental teaching of Christianity being that you have to actually walk the walk as well as have the faith as well. So I mean, we can debate about it, man.
All right, now before this brother talk, he ain't been up on the stage in a minute. I gotta put the ISO on him and I gotta play this before he speak because he ain't been messing with me, y'all. I just gotta, I gotta give him his just due. So since we got the return of the Slim Reaper, he ain't been messing with your boy DMG. He ostracized me. He don't talk to me no more. He don't call. He don't write. But I'm gonna hit this sound effect just for him, and then we're gonna let him speak.
I'm an angel, and I kill firstborns while their mamas watch. I turn cities into salt. I even, when I feel like it, rip the souls from little girls, and from now till kingdom come, the only thing you can count on in your existence is never understanding why.
Slim Reaper, welcome back to Paradigm Shift TV 314.
Wow, DMG, wow. I want you to know my son saw you on my TV because I had you on the TV, the living room, and he walked up to him. He said, "Isn't that the guy that you used to be talking to?" He said, "Because I see his name, DMG. Isn't that? I always hear you saying his name." So I just want you to know that.
I appreciate it. Shout out to your son. Your brilliant sons at that. How many languages they speak?
4, I think, at this point. Yeah, 4, I think, at this point.
Hold up, I gotta drop a bomb for that. There you go.
So here's my question. Take me off this full screen thing. Take off the full screen.
Yeah, because your head look extremely big on that full screen.
I mean, it is, but it's for
real quick. I got to do this. Shout out. Slim Reaper. I don't want you. Hey! Don't say nothing, Slim Reaper. This is not for you. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Shout out to my real sister. Same mama, same daddy, not a black in the building. Leandre, you ain't Slim Reaper right now. You Leandre. Don't say a word about my sister. Go ahead.
How you doing, DMG sister? Now
you want to get kicked off?
Now, see, this is how it starts all the time. Now,
I know.
So, here's my question to the brother. Now, I listened. I listened from the beginning, from when you came on. I took notes. One of the main contentions that I have is as following. You talk about, like, I think this segment is talking about getting back to Kemet itself. First question, I guess, that I have, and we'll see if I have other time. Hey, how you doing? I'll say if I have other time later to follow up on this. But you talk about indigenous religion, and I guess the first question that I have is that on the continent of Africa, first and foremost, did the Africans view themselves as a monolith, especially with respect to religion?
So, monolith, if by monolith you mean that there were no variations, no, there was definitely variations. I mean, if you even go to if you go down to South Africa, there are people who are as light skinned as you, and with that being said, they are also listen to this. They have no European ancestry in them. And so we didn't even need outside people for us to have variations in our material existence. Understand that? So for sure we have variation in our spiritual tradition. With that being said, there was some unifying concepts. And to wrap up my answer to you, one of the unifying concepts is that we did not have as our high God, the highest God, because people say that Christianity is a religion of only one God. I can't think of the word right now of all of the times to not be able to have the word on my monotheism. But it is debatable that it is monolatry, right? The understanding or the viewing of multiple gods, but worshiping one God. He's the high God. And across Africa, from what I've seen, at least going far as back as Kemet, and looking at them, looking at Kush, ancient Nubia, etc. Whoop whoop whoop. Typically, the high God was not if you understand comparative mythology at all, Sergeant, we didn't have a storm god as our high god.
Okay.
Storm god.
So, yeah. So I guess I'll wait until DMG says that I can ask a follow-up question. So
Hemi left, I guess. I didn't realize that. So ask your follow-up.
now, so with there not being a monolith, do you have any evidence of pre-colonial Negroes in West Africa, Central Africa, or Central West Africa practicing the Kemetic spiritual traditions?
So pre-colonial, are we speaking specifically like the 100 years before colonialism, or are we talking
Anytime
like in
pre-colonially.
the whole, just pre-colonially?
Pre-colonially, yes.
So for a fact, there is connections to the Inyame of the Akan people. This is just one example because you just asked for an example.
Mhm.
The Inyame, who is the high god of the Akan, the Ashanti people, being connected with the god Ra, for a fact. Even Amen Ra. So for a fact, for you to say were they practicing their religion, then you're gonna get into like, was they using the same names and woo woo woo? Because I know in some people's religions and spiritualities, it is very important about the name. And the names are important, but what was more important was the concept, the symbolism of them. And so the symbolism and the concepts of the gods were shared for sure, if not the name.
Real quick, I gotta say this. So Hemi, I gotta apologize to you, my good brother. I foolishly thought business picked up because the Slim Reaper hit the stage, but apparently, according to my sister, she say Hemi left. Then why am I here? Business picked up because the biblical barbarian hit the stage. Shout out to you, my brother, for that increase in viewers. I appreciate it. Next question is yours, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Now I ain't leave. I'm on my phone and I had got a phone call, so it kicked me off.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I just want to touch back with the brother. I don't want to debate him right now. I just want to get it clear. Like, so you're saying that the belief in Christianity is that simply faith alone will get you where you need to be. Is that your understanding?
Who was the first person to be given a guarantee that they was going to heaven?
Why you can't answer my question with a question? I said, do you
This is the
believe? Is
answer
it
to the
your
question.
understand? No. Is
Okay.
it your understanding that according to Christianity, that faith alone will get you to heaven? Is that your understanding
Yes.
of what Christianity, the biblical text teaches?
I've already said that it is,
That is.
but yeah.
I have I have something lined up already in the verses series, so I don't want to step on that. But if you can hold that thought, I promise you, I will circle back around to you and smoke you on that topic. I promise you,
Hey
I will do
man,
that.
all
All
smoke
right.
welcome. All
I got you.
smoke welcome.
I got you. Y'all, everybody, make sure y'all hear it because he said that faith alone, and he said that that's the teachings of Christianity. I don't understand how you can say that when there's clear passages saying that faith without works is dead, but it's nullified. It's like this is crazy, but it's more
Hemi, I ain't
precept
gonna
to
lie
that.
to you.
What's up?
I seen your work, man, and I'm telling you, you might want to link up with him. Y'all might want 2-on-1 it, because me ain't gonna get the job done.
Oh,
My
damn.
brother. My brother.
Damn.
I respect you as a man to give you that at the beginning of it before we get into it. You know, like
I like the confidence, man. That's
Damn.
cool. I hear you talking, bro. Like I said,
Hey, I don't know if our brother realized who you is, Hemi.
I don't think he knows either. He said he sees my work though, so he came like he's supposed to come with his chest poked out. You know what I'm saying? But when you're like as a father, I have 3 sons. When they come with their chest poked out, I usually cave them in, and you're gonna respect me. You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
love it.
this man said we need a 2-on-1 him. That's crazy.
And,
Okay.
and look, I would say though, we got the tandem division coming up later this summer. If Slim Reaper didn't like to see, he don't like to play with others, but if he did like to do the tag team thing, y'all would make 2 good teammates though. I would say that. But he say y'all might want a 2-on-1 on him. That's crazy. Slim Reaper, next question yours, man. We're gonna go back to him and then we're gonna get ready to get out of here.
Next question I have now, considering the practices of our ancestors here on this continent. Now, I imagine you're in America.
Yes.
Okay, so any evidence of any of our ancestors practicing primary sources, particularly if you have them, I'll also take secondary sources. Anyone that you know of, and you don't have to have it now. I'm also welcome to, to accept some later. Have you reviewed personally any evidence whatsoever that says anything related to our ancestors here on this continent that came across the pond practicing the Kemetic spiritual tradition?
So you talking about like the people who came on the boat?
Yes, the people who came here on the boat. Yes, I'll also take anyone that stopped on St. Helena. I'll take any who stopped in to the Americas period. Give me any from that time period, from the Middle Passage, who practice Kemetic spiritual traditions.
Nope.
Okay. Now, my last, and I realize I'm supposed to have one, but I guess this is my follow-up then. When you talk about, here's the contention I have. Now, we have all sorts of writings with respect to the practices, the religious practice, religious systems of the Africans who came here. Like we have lots in the memoirs of Phyllis Wheatley. We have a whole bunch of these. We have writings. We had literate people. You had some people who were even real literate. We have the recorded history. Phyllis Wheatley does an awesome job. We have a whole bunch of these. There's an entire work by Albert Roberteau called Slave Religion, where he documents the particular religious practice of the Negroes who came here on boats across the pond from Central Africa, West Africa, Central West Africa. So when I hear someone like you talk about getting back to Kemeticism or talking about our indigenous traditions, you all seem to gloss over in the same way that I would hear a Hebrew Israelite do, in the very same way that I would hear someone who was claiming to be a native here or anything like that. You all continue to gloss over and disrespect West Africa, Central Africa, and Central West Africa, the place in which we actually hail from. I do not hear you talking about in the least bit getting back to traditional African spiritual systems from West Africa, Central Africa, or Central West Africa. And then what you do is you go way over to a people group where we didn't come from whatsoever and adopt their particular spiritual traditions when they have all sorts of distinctions, genetically and otherwise, from the ones from the region from which we came. So when you talk about getting back to something, I guess my question to you is, when were we ever there in the first place?
So interesting that you say that. There is DNA studies going on, research being done, linking African Americans, FBAs, whatever you want to call us, right, to pharaohs and people from Kemet. So that's one thing. But more importantly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Sergeant Waters. Your question is, it's confusing because you have a cross behind you that came from Rome, and so you asking me, well, what's wrong? Why are you skipping over West Africa, brother? You skipped over West Africa and went to a whole nother continent. At least I stayed on the continent. At least I stayed with the people who were sovereigns. You went over and you went to a religion that you had to be conquered to take in mass. Am I saying that no black people would have ever converted to the Abrahamic religions without, all of these slave incursions and all of that good stuff? I'm not saying that, but it's so coincidental and it's so convenient that there's so many of us that are of these religions, and we also was enslaved by the people who came and invented these religions. You understand what I'm saying? And so going back to the first question that you just asked me, was there anybody on the slave ships who I know of that was practicing the Kim religion? I say to you, if they was practicing the Kim religion, maybe they wouldn't have got put into slavery. Maybe. That's my question. That's my answer to you.
Okay, now let me say this, DMG. I know, DMG, you're gonna yell at me later.
Oh man.
You're gonna yell at me later.
No. I'm not, hold on. We gotta go to Hemi, but I'm gonna do you a favor because you came on the platform and you ain't, we ain't friends no more and all of that. You've been ostracizing me. I'm gonna go back to you and let you ask one more question before we get out of here because it seemed like my brother like engaging with you. So, my brother Hemi, what you got for our brother?
I don't have no more questions. The brother came on here cocky, confident. He challenged me already, so I don't even got to pick his brain. We'll settle our dispute in the ring. You feel what I'm saying?
In the verse, Hemi want to smoke in the versus series. So, hey, I know you got something lined up, Hemi, because if you didn't, I'll be like, hey, brother, I think you got your first contest. Man. Okay. And look, family, we're going to be putting out the top 10 rankings this Tuesday. I think Hemi is going to be happy with the situation in that top 10 ranking, but we will be putting that out this Tuesday. I'm looking to find somebody for our brother to get in the ring with next month. He may be ranked. We never know. But we got Quinn at A1 coming up. We got LP taking a stab at the undisputed, undefeated champ Pandemus. Also, we have this coming up. Let me share my screen so y'all can see it. For those who don't know, this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time, we got the good Dr. Too Sweet taking on the pseudo slayer himself, Cedric Ortega. It is a title for title situation. The real Lions Den champion versus our versus series social media champion. Two champions will enter. One will leave with two titles. They both going in with belts. One of them leaving with two. That's the situation. So, hope y'all tuned in for that. It's going to be right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. The pseudo slayer versus the good Dr. Too Sweet. Y'all be here. We looking to have Pan and LP on the 24th, but tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. because they got a face-off to determine what it is they will be debating. The Versus Series is live in 2025. Remember, standard debates is $100 situations. Each debater will leave with $50 in their pocket. Title matches. The defending champion will receive $100. The challenger will receive $50. That is how we doing it over here. So y'all tune in, hashtag get ranked. We're going to see where Hemi fall if he made it into that top 10 ranking coming up this Tuesday. Now we turn it over to the Slim Reaper. He did have another question for our brother.
Well, not so much a question. I have a statement. So to Brother QW, let me tell you, so we start at a different place and end on a different planet. Only one of us is pretending to be trying to get back to traditional African spiritual systems. That's you. My particular concern is whether or not a particular religious system is true, whether it aligns more so with reality. Yours is whether or not they have the same hue as you. And so part of the reason that me raising this objection to you is that not only are you viewing yourselves in ways that your African ancestors did not. They did not view themselves as a monolith. They did not view themselves as one of the same as the people up in Northeast Africa at the nearest most corner, nearest to Asia Minor. That's the way you view them. Your ancestors not view themselves in this way, nor is that the way that they were classifying their religion or religious systems. That's your postulation. My particular postulation is whether or not it corresponds to reality best. So if I challenge you on you not getting back to your particular system, that's because you're violating your own framework. You don't seem to care what your African ancestors who actually came here that you descend from actually practice. You don't seem remotely interested in that. You're not practicing any of their systems, but there's also some seeming ignorance on your part with respect to Africa and Christianity. There's an entire video that's posted on this channel right now talking about the reality of African Christianity and even with respect to African church fathers and their contribution to many of the core mainstream doctrines that we hold in Christianity itself. And I mean numerous African church fathers to this effect. But I guess the bottom line here is that you seem to be disillusioned about what it is that you actually want to do, because I'm not ashamed to be from Central Africa, West Africa, or Central West Africa, nor am I playing costume with some other people in some other particular tradition clear across the pond, while also claiming to be trying to get back to an African system, or the particular systems of our people. So I would love to see you on a debate stage on this particular issue, because I really don't think that this whole thing will hold up. So you let me know and we'll do it.
One condition, Sergeant Waters, one condition. And that one condition is that you debate me and not your idea of me, because everything that you said was in response to how you feel about what I said, and not in response to what I said. Once this video is concluded, go back and watch the replay, because for you to say that I said that everybody was a monolith with no context, because I gave you plenty of context. I'm sure I gave you enough context to write a chapter on, a whole college thesis statement on, all right? So for you to say these things that you're saying, you're debating who you think I am, or what your emotions that have been triggered by the truth that I have, who that person is. And so I will debate you if you debate me. And the last thing that I'm gonna say is this: the people who came over on the boats, first of all, you have to understand that Kemet was local to the area of Kemet. And so if you don't have the Nile River, if you don't have some of these things that were in that actual geography, then of course people in another region are going to practice a religion that is specific to their area. To that point, this is what I'm gonna end with. If you're gonna say that nobody of our ancestors weren't practicing Ifa, what people call in the Caribbean Vodun and hoodoo and voodoo and all of that stuff, you don't understand what the saints were. The people who actually really venerated the saints when we came over to America, that was them developing their indigenous religion into, Santeria and all of that stuff, and equating them with these saints and all of that good stuff. Because if you was practicing your religion and you was being sovereign, again, the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, sovereignty, they say the nail that stands up, it gets nailed down, it gets hammered down. And so, yeah, we had to go covert, we had to go undercover. And so you're not gonna see too much pieces of evidence of what our true spirituality was when we came over on this boat, because we had to play costume, like you saying. We had to fit in with the people who was overlords at the time. So yeah, whenever you want to get in that ring, man, you know what I'm saying, put them gloves on, man. We can get
I just want to tell you, if you plan on getting in a ring and lying like that, then you're going to have a problem, because I don't know if you've ever read things like John Thornton or Jordan T. Watkins, right? Like I have, with looking at the actual documentation. We have all sorts of documentation with what the actual spiritual practices are. You got Phyllis Wheatley. We have primary source evidence for what their particular spiritual practices are. And so don't go
Slim Reaper.
Don't do it.
Slim Reaper. I think you might have picked the wrong time to come back, bro. I think you picked the wrong time to come back, man.
I promise I am. He ain't read enough. You can tell because the statement's coming out. He's not read enough.
Listen, we got the champion of truth in the building, brother. I'm about to make this brother a Versus Series logo, and we finna hit the ground running, baby.
I'm telling you, he ain't read enough. He don't even know.
I'm just telling you, bro. I'm just telling you.
He don't know the history of his people. I've read I don't know how many sources, primary sources, on the actual traditional practices of our people, and he's making nonsense statements like that. I'm gonna play them all back. So we're gonna let the people came out your mouth, and then we're gonna see.
Hey, I know you too young to remember this, man. But see, like Sugar Ray Leonard came back and he beat Marvin Hagler. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen with this situation, man. I think this brother ready for you, bro. So
nah, I can tell he ain't. DMG, don't hype him up, because he fit it. Because I'm telling you, the stuff he came out of mouth right now, he don't know nothing about the history of his people, and so he gonna encounter a historian, and he bow, because the stuff he just said is so crazy. It's so crazy to me.
Hey, I don't know, man. Slim Reaper, I think.
Come on,
listen,
man.
I didn't hurt. Slim Reaper, Look, you know this for a fact. Usually, man, you get cats rattled, you get them in their feelings. This brother ain't flinched
of our people.
He ain't flinched yet.
We're gonna get into it.
He ain't blinked.
African religion.
He just leaned in on you. He ain't flinched at you yet. You don't scare this brother, Slim Reaper. You don't scare this one, man. You don't scare this one, bro.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Sergeant.
Is this not why you were here?
I'm done now. Let's do this. Set it up, DMG. Set it up. I'm done now. I got it.
Hey, this is your show, my brother. So the last word is yours.
All I'm gonna say is my last words to Sergeant is yeah, let's come up with a topic. I mean, you talking about, you know, the histories and what this author said and what that author said. Okay, cool. What about the efficacy of this religion that you say that we've been practicing for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years? What is it doing for our people? Last time I checked, there's more churches on the corners of our communities, but who has the worst outcomes right now? So what's really going on? And so, you know what I'm saying? You might not want to debate that because, you know, I haven't heard you bring that up. You bring
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Some factoids and all that.
Oh, let him get it out, man. He got the last word.
If you want to get into efficacy, I'd definitely be into that. Or if we can, you know, meet somewhere else in the middle that is equally satisfying, then yeah, we can definitely put them on, man. We can definitely put on them gloves.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm seeing a lot of people, the bar reloaded, say, Brother Cool is very unfazed. Good job, brother. My brother Michael Everett say, this is why I miss Slim. My sister, same mama, same daddy, not a black, say, I'm tickled. Hilarious. We got the Bible breaker say, dude, think he's an Egyptian. Bar Reloaded say his cocky style is hilarious and it would be a good debate. I don't know if she's talking about you or if she's talking about Slim Reaper. I'm not sure who she's talking about. But I think it would be an interesting debate nonetheless. That being said, family, y'all know what it is, man. It is Paradigm Shift TV 314. Tune in tomorrow for the face-off between the undefeated, undisputed versus series champion, reigning, defending Pandemus, the Pan-African atheist, against the chief ambassador, LP. They're going to come up with a topic, and we're going to bring y'all that debate on May 24th. It is for the Versus Series world title. This Saturday, May 10th, we got the pseudo slayer, Cedric Ortega, taking on the good Dr. Too Sweet. It is the real Lions Den World Championship against the social media champion. Were astrology and astronomy once the same? They're going to burn that thing out. 2 champions will enter, 1 will leave. Will it be 2 sweets, 2 belts, or will the pseudo slayer be holding up 2 titles at the end of the night? We're going to find out this Saturday. Shout out to my sister Juju, aka The Glow. Shout out to the Bar Reloaded. Shout out to Quinn and everybody else in the chat. Appreciate the love. Shout out to my brother, the newest member of the Versus Series. I will be getting you that logo, brother. It's free of charge. You're free to use it any way you see fit. Just something I do as a token of appreciation for y'all being involved. And yeah, man, hit me with your Facebook if you have it, and your Instagram, and I get that inbox to you, or otherwise I just text it to you. But welcome to the Versus Series, brother. I'm looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to you putting down your demonstration. And there's some people finna get this work, man. We're gonna see if we can put this together with you and Slim Reaper, man.
I appreciate you, DMG. You the GOAT. Let's work.
I appreciate it, man. Salute. Hey, family, the next sound you're going to hear is the musical Messiah. Your love, humbly, I endure. Till next time, my brother, I'll be in contact.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know I got about 30 seconds to make y'all feel this before y'all turn it off these days. That I might not even release this. But I be doing this shit for me, help me get through. I feel like I give until I can't, but most don't recognize it till I ain't. Blood on them covers, she hoping paint. Sorry mama, but it ain't. This world took a toll on me, and everyone that say they love me always seem to fall on me. The same one that call me great, treat me like I ain't shit. I read between the lines, it's written all over your eyes. I see the disappointment in the eyes of the ones who want me dead, but I ain't never been scared, I tried to get there. Sometimes I wonder if I survived or did I die on that ride to that hospital. Demons all around me, I am not mental. This game of life, it is not simple. Last time I was happy, I was popping pills.